Taboo from Black Eyed Peas recently announced that he was battling and has, we're happy to say, come out on the other side of testicular cancer. And this is something that he did very quietly. He didn't talk about it until after everything had happened.
He was diagnosed in 2014.
Yeah, so this has been something he's battling very quietly. And like I said, happy that he's, that things have worked out at this point.
He's in remission, which is great. But he went through it.
He went through it, and like I said, very quietly. So Taboo is joining us right now. He's got a lot of things going on. In fact, he has a song that he's done now for the American Cancer Society. We want to talk to him about that. And also the protests in North Dakota, which he's been part of. So Taboo, how are you doing, man? How you feeling?
Okay, Harvey, how you guys doing?
We're good.
Good,
You look
man.
good.
Thank you, man. Been back in the gym, getting back to fighting shape, and just trying to spread the message about cancer awareness and being part of the fight against cancer with the American Cancer Society.
I'm really curious about the process that you were diagnosed. Didn't talk about it at all through treatment, and you went through chemo, you had surgery,
Yep.
and never talked about it. So what was the process that made you not talk about it and now talk about it?
Well, first of all, I needed time to heal. I spoke to my wife and my family about the importance of healing mentally, physically, spiritually, because it's a traumatic experience that I went through, going through 12 weeks of intense, aggressive chemotherapy. So I needed to heal and make sure that before I told my story or before I went on the journey of helping millions of people with the fight against cancer, it was important for me to heal, and luckily it took me 2 years to really get back to knowing that I was capable of doing that, and finding a platform and a partner like the American Cancer Society, which happened organically, to be able to create a opportunity for people to gravitate to something, because there's a lot of people out there that don't really know where to go or where to turn to, and the American Cancer Society has offered a lot of facilities and different places where you could turn to in the fight that I was going through as well.
So Taboo, I'm wondering, recently, and we've seen this over the years, but most recently I'm thinking of Shannon Doherty went through her chemotherapy and her treatment, and she shared almost every step of it with her fans. I'm just wondering, once you were diagnosed, was it something that you and your wife sat down and said, I want to do this privately, I want to make sure that I get to a certain point, or why do it the way you did it as opposed to how Shannon?
This is the way I did it. I have no real main explanation for it. There was no plan to make this. I wasn't trying to make this something where I would be open with it, because I wasn't ready. I was put in a situation when they told me that I had cancer. I thought I was gonna die, man. So during that time period, I was blessed to create a song called "The Fight," which kind of spoke on the experience that I was going through. And with my writing team, Carlina Covington and Joshua Alvarez, we were able to come up with something so special, and it spoke to millions of people, not just in the fight against cancer, but any fight, whatever struggle you're going through. I think this is the anthem. And if people could come and support and download it, please, we need all the help we could get with the fight against cancer.
And speaking of fighting, you're also fighting the Dakota Pipeline, and I
Yes,
think that's the T-shirt, right?
Yeah, no dapple. I was actually there over the weekend, and as a Native American myself, I represent the Shoshone Nation, and as a father, I wanted to be able to do my part. I have a big platform and a voice, so I actually went to the front lines to be with my brothers in solidarity at Standing Rock, and it was the most eye-opening, positive, just spiritual experience of my life. I actually took my oldest son Joshua to be there with me, and we both felt that spirituality. I actually walked up to the officers at the front line, and the question that I asked them is, "Where's the love?" I said, "Where's the love?" And you know what the response was?
Did they get it?
What was the response?
The response is, "Oh, so what time is your show tonight?" So that
So they got it. They got the line, right?
They got the line, but I was speaking more on a perspective of humanity, like where's the love within humanity.
Yeah.
I really I was there to bring positivity and love because I've been working on that for 21 years with my group, the Black Eyed Peas, and that's what we bring to the table. So they brought me there to do a benefit concert for the protectors at Standing Rock, and it was just a great experience because I got to go through the camp. I got to experience a lot of great, optimistic people that were looking at life in a different perspective than I was. Going through the fight against cancer taught me a lot about not being concerned about the small things in life. And going to the camp at Standing Rock, it reinforced that thought. There's other people fighting different fights around the world, and here in the U.S. And whatever I can do to be a voice or use my platform to get the message out, I'm going to do that.
You are an inspiring guy.
Really awesome, man. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much,
man.
Taboo, and good luck.
Congratulations,
like you said,
too,
the song.
on the
Make sure
remission.
the song's called "The Fight." Make sure you download.
Thank you, Harvey. Thank you, Charles, for allowing me to speak on this. And please download the song "The Fight Against Cancer." It's going to benefit millions of people because this is something that affects millions of people around the world. And the proceeds go to help the fight against cancer with the American Cancer Society.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Taboo.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.